Limiting your data. This is something that I ask almost every single one of my clients when I'm making a spreadsheet for them and we're adding in data. I always ask them in some way, shape, or form, depending on what they're doing, how many lines of data would you need to enter? Now, what you need to do is keep this in mind as to whether you're keeping data for a year or a month or 6 months, or how much do you actually need? Because I'm going to show you something now which you may or may not know. And some people, I've seen people make videos about this to show that it's a hack, that it works, but actually all you're doing is adding masses and masses of quantity to your spreadsheets, which means your spreadsheets are much bigger and much slower and far less productive. So let me just show you what I mean. We're entering this data. So what I would do is I eventually have a cutoff point. So if we know that we only need so many rows, we can actually cut it off there and stop that data. What I normally do is I would actually go a step further and hide that so that actually it stops there and it doesn't go any further on beyond that, which means that I know that I've got data to fill in to that point. Now here I filled in everything, but I mean, even if I thought maybe I need 100 rows, I could leave 200. Or if I thought maybe I'd need 300, I could leave 500. You can leave extra at the bottom, it doesn't matter, but you need to have a cutoff point for the data. There are a few reasons. Number one, if I were to create a formula, let's just have a look here. And if I say sum, and I do that formula down to the bottom, and I close that up, it says 283. If I go and add a 10 to the bottom, it says 283. Why is that? Because it knows it's only going up to that point, and this is now not included in the formula. So I've seen mistakes like that happen where people have had a formula up to a certain point and they've added more data and it hasn't tallied it up. So you want to know where the end is, and that's why I hide it. I put a border around it. I'll even go as far as to color this one in white so you can see it's a border. Let's go to full color in white so you can see it's a border, and that is the end of the data, and you don't want to be entering anything beyond that. I do that on purpose so that you can see that that's the end, so you don't add stuff on and then go, oops, it's not working. Now I've seen other people say, well, you don't need to do that. You don't need to set a range. You can set the range for the whole column. So what they will do is they will actually go equals. Now what I've done is I put the same numbers here that are in the first column. What they'll do is they'll go equals and they'll click up at the top on K. So it actually says total, the entire column K. So they'll go equals sum, and then the entire column K, close brackets. Now it gives the same result because we've got the same numbers. But if we were to now add a 10 at the bottom there, it would go up to 293. So it does add it on. So you go, oh, problem solved. The problem is it's not problem solved. The reason why it's not problem solved is if I unhide this, we have got 1,048,576 rows in Excel, and you are tallying up the entire lot of those rows. Now, when you're doing a sum and you're doing one column, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't make much of a difference. But imagine you've got 65 lookup formulas and 80 different things and all the rest of it. And imagine you've got a column which actually checks one of the numbers against another number in one of the other columns. And you've got 1 million times 1 million. And then it just absolutely implodes Excel, and it doesn't work, and it slows things down. I've been sent spreadsheets about 40 meg in size. It should only have been about a meg, but it's just gone absolutely crazy because people have been doing formulas like this using all of the cells when they don't need to. So yeah, that's my advice as far as limiting the data. Limit the data you do, box it off nicely so that you know what's happening. So all of your formulas are relating to that. Hide the rest of the cells. I would even go one step further and actually then go afterwards and select the range where they're going to be filling in data, go to format cells, protection. Those would have been locked, unlock those ones so that everything else is locked, and then lock the workbook so they can only fill data in there. You can't fill data in below that. It's closed off, it's locked off. People are clear as to where to enter the data. And your formulas then are only looking at that many rows rather than the entire 1 million rows. So I hope that that's helpful to you, and hopefully it'll help you keep your spreadsheets down to manageable size. Thank you very much.